Welcome back, guys, to week 6 of Emerald League, where we have a spicy match of Shorks versus Black Mambas, which is my personal top 2 teams in the league right now. We are joined by Mr. Ducky himself, the one true Ducky, the only Ducky that I know.
The
How's it
one
going?
team, the definitely addicted to Quack.
So right now, we have a current substitute coming in for the Shorks. They have
Yes,
subbed out one of their big playmakers called Turnips. And
I had heard
he
about
is
that.
currently being replaced by Beepots.
B pots. Losing your jungler can cost you a lot of synergy with every single lane. I mean, they have a lot of influence on the map, especially in the early game. So it'll be interesting to see if the Shorks might adopt a different playstyle or if B pots will just fit right into what the team was already wanting to do.
Yeah, and it's also gonna be one of the highlights because we already know that Black Mambas have a really strong mid jungle, and everyone in production believes so as well, according to the top 20s.
Oh,
As we're
so
already seeing a lot of mid lane bans and jungle bans coming out.
yeah,
Shark's really respecting Ida right now.
yeah, you said that that would be the focus of the game, and they seem to be of the same opinion. Although we do see a Braum ban, a little bit of love thrown towards that bot side.
Yeah, Gooey Creep has been spamming the Braum in the recent games, and Molly has also been playing a lot of the Syndra. So we'll get to see what Molly brings out as the 30 Heimerdinger gets banned.
I'm glad to see that ban. It's like seeing a Yumi ban. It just makes you feel good inside to see that that little annoying champion won't be in the game today.
Yeah, there's just something about like having summons or like having a pet that the League of Legends community just doesn't like.
Yeah. Especially because, Heimer, he'll run around with his turrets, and I think the hidden power that makes him so frustrating to play against a lot of the times is that he gets movement speed near those turrets. He's so fast, he's hard to hit. So not only is he running around, like, hitting you with little spells and poking you and being a general nuisance, you also embarrass yourself trying to hit him back, because you're like, wow, I'm terrible, but maybe you're not so bad. It's just that everyone else is moving at, like, 335 to 350, and he's over here scooting the boot at 380. Like, come on, man.
Yeah, he really does have a really strong kiting potential as Crab does get his one trick this time around, and looks like an early jungle pick coming in from Shorks, trying to secure a high presence jungler as we normally see. And it's definitely, I wonder if Beepots is gonna have the same aggressive style as the Shorks are used to.
I mean, yeah, Zach is a champion that you can be and probably do want to be pretty aggressive on with the ganks. A Seraphine locked in, though. Not the type of aggression that you'd normally see. Could be in the support role, though. Still could have a very aggressive lane with her. Seraphine's a really good supportive champion. Game-changing ultimates, and combined with the Zach's engage is pretty devastating.
Yeah, it can also go to mid lane considering we haven't seen too many champions coming from Molly, and I do know that Molly is sort of just one of those solid mid laners that plays a lot of control mages, but it could set up a style if they're looking for it. But we do see Tomato lock in a more aggressive style support. Something that can engage, something that can actually just be in short spaces.
Yeah, Leona, a very good champion for the engage, and if you lock someone up with Leona, Urgot gets the free ultimate, and that sets off the Samira. I like what Black Mambas are putting together here with the draft so far.
Yeah, lots of team fighting presence coming out already. Having a few engage options plus a good cleanup as well.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure, correct me if I'm wrong, but Samira can win wall Seraphine's ultimate with her ability, and if she does so, she gets more style points. So that could be a good counter to that. I mean, you don't want her getting caught out by the Zac, but countering one of the team fight ultimates on the side of the Shorts could be pretty important.
Yeah. Fun fact: Samira can also give 1 gold using her taunt.
Ah.
And just using a safe 80 carry for Giggle. It's what we see out of the small lane, but I wonder if Black Mambas are actually gonna try to focus somewhere in the ball lane, or if they're gonna try to fight and brawl out Shork's strong topside presence, as we are seeing even more jungle bans coming out from the Shorks.
Yeah, the Udyr ban, a very frustrating champion to play against at times. Demonic Embrace has been strong the last few patches. Udyr makes very good use of it, not to mention his lethality build. As the bans are flying in, we see a Yone and a Wukong.
Ida currently has 4 jungle bans against him, and Black Mamas is really showing a lot of mid lane respect, to be honest.
Yeah, they seem to be convinced that the Seraphine is indeed going to the support role, so banning out Molly Wapsione. We'll see what
Yeah,
their
we'll see.
last ban is. Only a few seconds left.
And Olaf. Okay.
A little bit of respect to the top side. Olaf, I've seen Tyler 1 play Olaf to great effect. He hasn't been playing as much Urgot recently, and I've seen other top laners pull out the Olaf. Seems to be a good champion, but we do see the Aatrox instead, seeing that, Olaf's banned.
Yeah, this is going to be a counter pick, probably for Molly, I'd assume. But this Urgot versus Aatrox matchup, I do believe that it's in favor of the Urgot, but I don't really know that matchup too well. As we see
Oh,
the mid jungle synergy coming out, the Diana Yasuo classic combo. They're just going for a pure wombo combo in Black Mambas.
yeah, their
That's so
team
threatening.
that is dangerous. The team fights could be over before you can even blink with the comp that Black Mamas have put together. Shorks needs to pick a mid laner that'll tie it all together. Not sure what they're gonna go with.
Yeah, 3 AD on Black Mamas, and Diana is just free to build full AP as I do like the Cassio pick. A lot of dashes
Yeah,
coming from Black Mambas.
yeah, a lot of the engage you can shut a lot of it down by just making them stay still for just a second. I mean, you put down the grounded effect, the miasma, and just buying that extra second or two would allow your Xayah to get all the damage that she needs to get off, and stop that engage and get the damage out and win the team fight. So a very very solid pick coming through for the mid lane in Cassio. Do enjoy that.
Yeah, and Molly looks like he's just gonna stay within his 4 champions currently. He currently has this again Syndra, Cassiopeia, Zillion, and the Azir for all the games that he's played. So
You
what's
know,
some more comfort champs, I assume?
yeah. And sometimes if it works, it works. Well, with that, we need to wait out our 3-minute timer to allow them to get into game. So we are going to send it to intermission for a short while.
And welcome back to week 6 of Emerald League. The Shorks versus this Black Mama says, is something gonna happen? Nah, we're fine. How's it
Just,
going?
just a standoff there at level 1, Cassiopeia had to the law, show Yasuo where the line is drawn, twin fangs, but
You see
Aatrox not in a
RNG.
good position. Diana getting the hits in, Urgot gets the hits in. Yasuo with
Almost
the Ignite already committed, gets the Q, but doesn't step forward far enough to actually chase. Zac throws down the Q, gets a lot of CC. Aatrox coming in with his repeated Qs, doesn't get the third one off. Third one comes in, but he's too low hit points as the first blood goes to Urgot.
That's actually really huge considering RNG is also like one of the top players in the league. He's like a carry factor for her turnips as well, and already being 1 kill behind of his lane opponent. We'll see how well Crab is able to take advantage of this.
Well, he won't be able to take advantage just yet because he hasn't recalled. He's sitting with 300 gold in his inventory, and I mean, Aatrox didn't burn his potion, so for all intents and purposes, he only has a little bit of experience that he shared with all of his teammates. He might not even hit level 2 on the first wave, and there's no recognizable advantage at all in the lane until he backs.
That is fair, but it is also somewhat favorable for mid and bot side considering that both ignites were used. It does make the Shorks game plan of a really safe ball lane a lot, safer without that kill threat of ignite. But we'll see if Tomato able to get some cheeky Leona that engages in.
Yeah, only really seeing Poke coming through right now, so not too much going on. Little bit of a trade in the top lane as Crab hits level 2. He's got so much damage down onto that Aatrox. Oh my.
Yeah, the Crab one trick is showing his prowess already with his by hitting level 2 first, surprisingly enough, even though the CS doesn't seem.
Yeah, less hits, but must have been around for their deaths at least. You don't have to get the exact last hit to shove out. Speaking of higher levels, though, Solar Rain on the Yasuo will level up on the Cassio for his trade as well there, taking away half of her health for barely anything in return.
Yeah, Black Mamba is really aggressive. We've seen them time and time again just try and gain these early leads, and after week 1, their progress has shown a lot better team play, to be honest.
Yeah, and that's what you love to see, right? Teams improving throughout the season. So, we'll hope and see how much they can improve, if they can take down the first-seeded team. As Iconic comes in for a gank, getting a little more damage down, but... Ooh, taking some himself. But ultimately, no lives threatened.
Yeah, there shouldn't be too much. The Zac is around, but he does have a slower clear than the Diana, and I don't think the Diana is going to be able to contest as well as Tomato.
But the Leona engages, exhaust is burned, his damage comes through, Xayah pops the W, pops the Q, tries to get a root on the E, but doesn't find anything. Leona W keeping herself safe as she takes that reduced damage, gonna burn the potions, but, she's sitting at very low health. Seraphine might not have enough mana to do anything about it, but it's a dangerous spot to be.
Yeah, the exhaust is almost immediately.
Oh, speaking of low health, Aatrox is almost out, and he will run out too quickly to get away. Oh my god.
Solo kill coming in by the Crab. He really was salty about not getting any of the top 20 lists, so he's trying to make a statement right now.
Yeah, respect his Crab, respect his Urgot. He got his one trick. Now's his time to, write his name in the snow, or the stone, whichever you prefer.
Yeah, one thing that we haven't really talked about is what kind of team comp do you think would actually win in this type of scenario? We have a lot more higher mechanics coming in from the Shorks right now, whereas Black Mamas, they have a lot easier of a team comp to execute.
I've always been a fan of the easy go buttons because you have to have a little bit of self-realization that you're in an amateur league. You're not like a professional team. So, the coordination, the teamwork, the hours of practice that they put in, it's not all going to be there. So in order to line everyone up on timing, your engage has to be very simple, very easy to chain off of each other, So you see Diana go in, it's very obvious, right? And then Yasuo just presses R. And once everybody's nice and held in the air, Samira's like, oh, very obvious, right? There's no real play to it of who do you target first, because the answer is usually, well, everyone that's grouped up. And I think that those type of comps, do very well just because the team has to be in the same book instead of on the exact same page, right? As long as you're all thinking, hey, let's go in and kill people, he'd probably do it.
Yeah, and with already with an early lead for the Urgas, a lot of Shorks' frontline potential threat is already mitigated, as this Aatrox still trying to find something.
Oh, he's trading a lot of damage in, gets all 3 Qs onto the Urgot. Urgot tries to trade back with his W, gets a lot of autos in. He's got the level 6, he throws the ultimate out, but the flash takes him away as we go to another fight, where he also is poisoned and eating a lot of damage from Twin Fangs. He slides through Cassiopeia. The ult comes out from Cassio, stun onto 2 members of the Black Mambas as Yasuo is falling super low on hit points. He's got the ultimate, got the flash. He gets away, buys a little bit of space, gets a 2-man knockup, but doesn't follow through. Leona comes in for the stun, but she's got no damage dealers with her. Cassiopeia with the ignite, a flash coming out from Diana, and she lands her Q and gets the kill. Aatrox gets the 3rd Q and the W to get the turnaround and pick up the shutdown on Urgot. Zac falls into his passive as 3 members of the Black Mambas are trying to clean up the mobs. The support on the side of Shorts isn't able to get far enough away. He hangs around looking to pass a shield and he has to pay for his flash. Oh my gosh, Leona flashes and gets a stun off, and then Diana picks up the kill. So much action coming out, and all of it goes in favor of the Black Mambas in the river, but everything on the top side goes in favor of the Shorts. Had to correct myself there. Aatrox did win that 1v1. Oh my.
Yeah, it looks like the Aatrox hit level 6, knowing that the Urgot didn't have his ulti anymore, so it was just a bit of an awkward situation. But that river fight, even though Shorks had the early rotation of Queef, they couldn't actually accomplish any kills. They couldn't get the last hits in, and they blew so many flashes just to try to get the last bit of damage in onto the Yasuo, but the Leona was able to come in just in time to turn it around. That was so well played.
Oh, as the flash is burned on the side of Samira, walking a little bit too far forward when you don't have your support with you. You know, trying to pick up that farm, but it's just not your farm to pick up right now.
That was just a bit of an awkward pathing. I think it was a bit of disrespect as well.
Yeah, a little bit there. Maybe he clicked and looked away and then saw he was going that way and had felt the need to commit. You never know. Could be anything.
Yeah, but at the moment, this puts Black Mambas in a great spot. They got the early first drag. They could easily position for the Rift Hold right now as well. I just know that there's a cheeky pink ward placement in Black Mamba's topside jungle. Must be a Renji.
Ah, very clever pink ward, spotting out any junglers coming up to gank. I said that very spaced out. Oh, but a fight breaks out. Yasuo commits the ultimate, doesn't land everything, as Cassiopeia maybe gets a little bit too close. Lethal tempo stacked up, but he eats the stun. He's eating a lot of damage. He doesn't have the ultimate to follow up. Zac comes in, almost has the range, flashes to get the range, but isn't able to land the Q. He's not able to land the CC. Burns the ultimate, goes to dive under the turret, but realizes he's not going to get anything for it, and Yasuo escapes with barely any hit points left again.
Yeah, I can't tell if the Zac Q is actually a Windwall, but hold up, this might be a bad dive.
Oh, no dive yet. A lot of members of the Black Mambas, they smell blood in the water. They are looking for it, but not going to find anything.
Yeah, and all things considered, I do like the kill placement as well. Diana was able to secure all 3 of the kills for that last fight.
Yeah, you know, and she's completed her item already. This Diana is a massive threat with 1 item, with just the Nashor's Tooth. I mean, it gives her so much ability power for her damage. It gives her everything her kit needs to succeed, clear speed. It's just such an amazing item for her, and she uses it extremely well.
Yeah, and with three AD players on Black Mambas right now, her AP damage is already going to be a threat. In these type of situations, you want the Diana to be sort of behind, so you'd be able to prioritize this early armor to try and win the early fights. However, with Diana's 3 kills, it's going to be really hard to itemize towards the, as you're sort of put in an awkward position for building any type of defensive thing as
Oh, awkward positions abound as Seraphine eats a bunch of stuns. She's got so much damage coming out on her, but she almost makes it out with 1 HP, but she does get picked up by Samira. Damage coming through onto the Samira. She's at about 300 hit points as Leona initiates the dive. Some CC comes through. Xayah burns the ultimate. Samira with the ultimate, but Xayah with the drag back of her feathers takes down the Samira. Leona's at 1 HP and she's trying to escape. It doesn't look like Xayah's going to chase her very far as the camera focuses topside. Diana goes in, looks for the engage. Zac slingshot times out, and everyone walks away.
Yeah, the initial bot lane fight was really great because Tomato had hit the level 6, got them to Seraphine. Seraphine did not have 6 yet, considering she was trying to roam as well. But the dive underneath the tower, they were on two separate pages. You saw Sniper already backing out, and Tomato just decided, oh, I still see an angle, possibly trying to kill.
Oh, speaking of angles, Urgot might see one onto the Aatrox here as he is very low. Ultimate is fired from Urgot. We don't see the camera go up there, but I did see it go on cooldown, so I am going to point out that he must have missed.
Yeah, RNG, nice hold on the flash, being able to just dodge the Urgot trying to look for it.
Yeah, a very important summoner for him to hold on to. As we know from the last 1v1 that happened in the top lane, he was able to use that flash and escape the ultimate and then turn around with his own. So an important cooldown to dodge a lot of Urgot's damage.
Yeah, at the moment though, the dragon setup, they see Molly.
Oh, Cassio can't dodge this damage. She comes through with this two-man stun, puts me to shame and dodges all of it, walks away with over less than 100 hit points, dodges the Diana Q, and picks up a kill, a shutdown on it, pays for it with her life, does end up succumbing to the damage as Zac now. Oh, might also succumb. He drops into his passive, but the blobs are positioned in a pretty okay manner. Oh, but it won't matter. Yasuo comes through. Leona commits the ultimate to ensure it, and it ends up being a 1-for-2 trade. But Cassiopeia picks up a shutdown. That was worth quite a bit of gold.
Hey, doing what she can, but another top lane fight coming in.
Another top lane trade as Aatrox lives with the Q healing, a few hit points, and a dream. He has managed to turn 2 early kills from Urgot into one of his own and not die a second time. You know, still behind, but very commendable play.
Urgot trying to get any ulti off onto this. It did go on cooldown once again, so it's slightly awkward, but he just goes in, tower dive.
Oh, he has to flash for the kill. Manages to make it out of turret range with his life, so he had to commit a lot of resources there, but he does get the 3rd kill.
And you already see a top lane deficit, almost 30 CS at this point. I mean, even though Aatrox is able to get a kill of his own, but it's looking more and more grim for the top lane.
With that solo kill, that's a lot of experience. That's 2 turret plates, which is another over 300 gold. I don't remember if it's 360 or 320. They've changed the gold amount on me. But yeah, I mean, essentially 2 kills there and denying a wave and experience. That's a massive lead on top of an already existing lead. So it's just ballooned into something that might be unsustainable for Aatrox. We'll see how 1G is able to, or RNG is able to deal with it.
Tomato's baiting here.
Yeah, Diana goes in. Zac stunned out of his slingshot. Seraphine already dead. So much damage coming through on the side of the Black Mambas as their team regroups, looks to re-engage. Xayah throws down a bunch of feathers, has a lot of damage, gets exhausted, not able to really pull them back to a whole lot of effect right now. Pulls them back, still doesn't hit anybody, barely any effect. Diana looking for the kill, gets near the turret, but isn't going to follow through. They'll shove this wave in, and we'll see if they do anything off of that, but it looks like they're just going to take their kills and walk away with them.
Yeah, Gooey failing his flash over the wall as another top lane, bro? Nah, it's fine. We can actually get a breather.
Might be setting up a dive. Diana's walking around, but just not fast enough to time with the wave. Gonna throw the Q anyway, interrupt the recall, but yeah, I just don't see a dive angle here. Diana needs to get out, and it looks like that's what she's doing.
Yeah, the Cassiopeia was pinged out. They do have another cheeky pink ward in the enemy jungle. We have 2 cheeky pink wards right now.
Always nice to trade those. Very funny. You know, they have the passive on the wards. What is it? The Order of Distinguished Longevity for when a ward exists for over like 5 minutes or something. Always fun to see wards with that passive.
Yeah, but at the moment, it wasn't even spotted out. He didn't even look in the bush. And during all of that, mid tower is taken down, top tower is almost low.
Oh, flash committed by the Yasuo ult, and the Leona's done so much damage coming on the Cassiopeia, and she just can't even play the game. Zac is in the area and might pay for the trouble with his life. A lot of damage coming through to him. He's got about a third of his hit points left as he gets stunned. Knocked airborne, goes back in, dishes down a lot of CC, but isn't able to survive. His AD carries here, but also might pay for it with their life. Holy. Manages to escape with the help of Seraphine, but that was not a good look, as this lead looks to be out of control.
Yeah, every single one of these Leona's roams has ended up in a kill. He currently has 10 out of 13 of the kill participation right now. And it's insane how effective these roams have been, and that Queep hasn't been following. He's been sort of trying to play the lane in a high roaming scenario.
Yeah, not exactly what we see. I mean, your Xayah might be a little bit ahead, but if the front line and the engage is so far behind, then you're never going to have an opportunity to get your damage out. So it's not going to make that much of a difference. Second Rift Herald claimed for the Black Mambas. We'll see if they can use it to get a lot of gold or maybe take out some key turrets.
Yeah, speaking of key turrets, top lane and mid lane turrets are already down, so it opens up the map for Black Mambas so much. And it looks like they're able to trade one turret, but currently in the objective game, they spent 2 Rift Heralds, 2 Dragons, 2 turrets in the early game, plus all the plating that you already have seen go down in the first 14 minutes.
Yeah, and that's compared to 1 turret with an objective bounty as a response, which, oh, Seraphine gets caught out, not able to dodge the Yasuo Tornado. Ultimate comes through and will take her down. Yasuo takes a lot of damage from the turret. Turret is ramped up! Samira goes in, not realizing that the turret is very angry already and gets put down in 2 shots.
Yeah, turrets were buffed, so that any turret that was a lot riskier, it ramps up so much faster now.
Man, Samira's gonna make me cry there, putting down in 2 shots just like the family dog. Oh, Yasuo goes in and he tries to get any damage out that he can. Xayah almost dies, has to flash away, she's burning. Oh, and Diana manages to get the kill. Cassiopeia trying to get a little bit of return damage. Zac goes in trying to get a CC. Not able to find anything as both teams back away.
Yeah, all of these fights are just not going in the way of Shorks right now. They seem very split in the numbers game, as Black Mambas are just converging as one dominant unit right now. Any fights, they get any type of vision control, any type of objective. They already have the mid turret going down from the Urgot.
Yeah, just an example of the lead there. Urgot able to take the turret in Seraphine's face, says, go on, hit me, use your turret, it will not help you. Kills the turret and walks away. 1 minion left on, oh, nope, he manages to finish that Cole. Good communication there.
Yeah, and they already have all the vision control going in for
Oh.
I can't talk right now.
Committing to another fight by Yasuo. He's grounded so he can't go further as Cassiopeia walks away, but with that much pressure, you can't stay under the turret, and they've got the Herald. It looks like they're going to take this out and open up the tier 1 turrets entirely.
Tomatoes just roaming with the 2-man unit right now. We should have said
Orenji on the top side, finding himself caught out, finding himself hit by the Urgot ultimate, finally, and finding himself in the belly, chopped up to bits by the blender. Oh. I mean, you hate to see it. You see that they're making a play bottom side, and you're like, ah, surely I'm safe here. So he tries to push in the wave, tries to push a little bit, you know, maybe get a good recall, but pays for his life because the AD carry roamed on you. When does that happen?
No one ever expects the AD carry roaming, especially a Samira.
Ends up being a good call, though, able to get Samira a little bit of gold, you know.
Yeah, securing 3rd Dragon right now. They currently have a 9k gold lead coming in at 20 minutes. They can probably just look towards the 20-minute Baron if they really wanted to, but what is your opinion on trying to get Shorks back into the game?
Oh, I think that if Shorks need to get back into the game, they need to land a very good combination of CC and feathers. So I want to see Zac buy enough time to have Xayah put down a lot of feathers. You know, let the engage come in on the Aatrox, on the Zac. They'll eat the damage. They're the ones that can take it. Xayah puts down her feathers, and then between Cassiopeia and Seraphine, you need to get a lot of members to stand in front of those feathers, grouped up, and then Xayah might be able to kill everyone. But that's so much to ask for right now. But, I mean, when you're 9,000 gold behind, getting back in might involve that miracle team fight when that's what a lot of your comp is built around. I mean, they have a little bit of scaling, but the Wombo from Black Mamba is so much that it scales pretty well as well. I mean, you've got Yasuo, you've got Samira. They do a lot of damage in the late game, so even though you've got the Cassio, is it going to really make that much of a difference if we take this to 50 minutes?
And considering Black Mama's team comp right now, they just have so many go buttons. They have an Urgot that's willing to just space tank every single time Rain and Tornado someone dies for.
Oh man! Oh, you're right. Oh, what a tragedy.
Guli just being caught with his hands off the keyboard, just trying to back in the middle of the lane.
Not what you want to do. I mean, you don't expect Yasuo to have that much of a threat range, but then you think about it, and yeah, that minion wave's walking by you, so he's gonna dash through it and be right up on you.
Yeah, and they have full Baron control right now. It's gonna be a miracle Baron steal. As Ellis
Yeah.
would say, it would be their highest percentage chance of coming back into the game if they're able to get Baron Steel at least.
Yeah, very true. Oh, a flash commit from the Urgot. Lands the ultimate. Flash coming out from Cassio. She picks up the stun, but it's not enough. She's already low health, and Cassiopeia is dead. Baron is going in as Aatrox is standing in the pit, looking for the threat, not able to find it. Did he just dodge the Diana ultimate? That is on cooldown. Yasuo lands the two-man tornado, goes in alone. Diana gets the Baron. He takes a lot of damage, but is able to take down the Xayah. Fight continues on as Zac is throwing down the CC. But it's not enough right now. It seems like the Shorks are broken. They're all scattering in different directions, and one by one, they're all falling to different members of the Black Mambas. The Zac passive is not quite going to have enough time to go through and revive him, and he will fall to Samira last.
Oh, Gooey, run away. You don't want to be here, man. Just close your eyes. It'll be okay.
Oh, no. Gooey wasn't even a part of the Baron, had just respawned and was walking out to mid and dies again for his troubles. Oh, no.
A really strong statement coming in as it looks like this Black Mambas are just unstoppable right now. Shorks aren't able to get any of these shutdowns. Everyone is so strong at this point that Rain will just engage and just get out alive. There's like, he has no fear.
Yeah, I mean, when the only person on the enemy team that has 2 items is the Cassiopeia that you've been ahead of all lane, where is the fear when you've got so much momentum? And I mean, considering how far behind everyone on the Shorks is, it ends up working out because you are that far ahead.
Alright, as the resets come out here, and 4th dragon is spawning within the next minute. Do you think that they'll just go for the dragon? Or do you think they'll just try to just group up for an end?
I think if they can make good use of their Baron timers, they should just group up and go for the end. But I think the safer play, and the one that I think is more likely, is they'll pick up this 4th dragon, and they'll try to use it to collapse on top side, take out the last of the, objectives, and choke them out with minion waves.
Yeah, no, I would just like to appreciate Tomato's roams right now. We've been talking big about the mid jungle and how they're the strongest in the league, but I might not be able to talk.
Oh, Tomato gets another engage, eats a stun, but is able to lock up the Cassiopeia. Cassiopeia is in a sea of blue there. Her health bar not visible, not only because it's empty, but because she was severely outnumbered. Not what you want to be going for when both of your bot side inhibitors are down.
Yeah, speaking of the 3-man squadron right now, Tomato has just helped Idaconic and Rain shine this entire game. And all the roam timings have been perfect, and even that catch in the jungle, even though Molly was sort of in a misstep right there, he didn't really have any vision or like anyone to help get him the vision that he needs. It's always just been one catch after another with Tomato.
Yeah, very strong plays coming out from him. It's good to appreciate. At one point, he had, what was it? It was 10 kill participation out of 13 kills. It's gotten a little bit further away from him on the ratio, 23 to 14, but still, his early game enablement has just allowed his team to get to where they need to be. And I mean, you could point at the people with the amazing stat lines and say that they're MVP for executing, but it's always nice to honor the support every now and then,
Yeah. At the moment, who do you think is the MVP for Black Mambas? They're all just engaging.
We've been praising the support, but I think that I am going to give it to the support. I couldn't go with anyone else there. The enablement from Leona has taken what was a small lead and ballooned it into a very large lead. So I'm going to go with Leona. You don't see it on the stat line, but it's there.
Indeed, as Giggle almost just dying to just straight up stop him.
Massive ult coming in from the Diana, immediately kills the Seraphine as Cassiopeia falls to the follow-up damage from Urgot. Urgot comes in and they're trying to kill them in the fountain now. The regeneration from their own base is barely enough to survive as all of their turrets are falling. It's hopeless now, and that will be game 1 going over to the Black Mambas. We'll see if they're able to run the KDAs a bit further. Looks like they're going for it. Urgot takes the base laser. Shutdown going over to Xayah. Xayah picks up another kill. Going on to Idatonic now, but gets knocked up in the air. Aatrox falls. Mira, Yasuo almost falls to the base laser, but the minions end the game.
They just really wanted to give Giggle the 420 scoreline right now.
You know, it was all calculated, and I support it. Well,
Uh, all
with
right,
the
so as we
conclusion.
get into the next game, we will be going back into the intermission, and we'll see you for the next game's draft. And welcome back to Game 2 of Black Mambas vs. Shorks as we are already getting into the bands of the Aurelian Soul and Heimerdinger. Those two champions are not gonna get a pass through this time around.
Yeah, they were banned last time. They remain banned this time as we notice that Black Mambas and Shorks are on the same sides that they were last game.
Yeah, Sharks did decide to stay on their side right now,
Oh,
and Black Mambas are just sticking with the same bands.
yeah, we might get but they do take out the Urgot. They believe that, the Urgot was instrumental in their loss. I'm gonna go ahead and remove him, but Black Mambas were just ready to do the run back.
Yeah, they left open Iconics and Kha'Zix, seeing as that's less of a threat than the Echo right now. So we'll see if Black Mamas will try and prioritize it, or
Oh, but they pick up the Sejuani. A very interesting play. You don't typically think of a Sejuani as a carry jungler, but if she's active on the map, she definitely can be. So we'll have to see what Iconic is able to do with it.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna go to Iconic though. It could be a top lane Sejuani as well.
Yep, that's what I was about to say. Big spoilers, Void Bullet Angel is in the house. I mean, you can play Sejuani as like a carry jungler, in my opinion still. Like, you just have to be willing to give up a lot of like gold that you're gonna get by jungling and just literally permagank. Some champions can be better at it, but as long as you have the right melee champions, Sejuani can be an influential carry in the early game, which kind of leans at Iconic's, maybe not his snowbally, like, I'm just going to 1v9 the gameplay style, but really, really feeds into his ability to just support his teammates and make them super strong.
Yeah, and we are seeing a 5th champion coming in from Molly and the Nivea pick as we see Rain Zed coming out. Last time we saw this Zed, it's dangerous.
I think we just need to appreciate how fast they locked it in. The instant lock into the Anivia, not scared at all.
Okay, we see the entire top side. This is almost guaranteed now, because Iconic is known for carry junglers, and Hecarim is definitely one that can take over the map very easily.
Oh yeah, and you plus now you've got 3 melees all lined up for the Sejuani, and if you get another melee support, maybe if they decide to go back with the Leona, then you've got another melee support to just instantly stack these E's for the Sejuani to instantly get stuns and instant lockup for just follow-up damage on everything.
Yeah, but Shorks are opting for a Lulu pick, surprisingly enough. They're trying to just try and mitigate and probably abuse the polymorph from Lulu's kit right now to try and mitigate some of this dive that Black Mambas already has as a Thresh ban coming out against Tomato. I'm surprised.
Yeah, Kamushi, what do you think? What AD carry would you kind of pick here? I feel like Xayah should be banned from Black Mambas to take that away from the safety from them. But other than Xayah, what do you think that they should put down here in the bot lane?
Are you talking about for Shorks or Black Mambas?
For Shorks.
I don't. Okay, because I don't think Black Mambas chooses a AD carry. They probably go for the AP sir.
Think they save the AD carry for the final pick here? For the Sharks,
I would assume Shorts would probably choose save a pick for Google, considering that you already see the enemy's top side, and they had already chosen their support. So there's the only real role that's really shown right now that Google has an advantage is AD carry. I'd assume that he would try for the Xayah again, all things considered, since it wasn't banned.
I mean, it wasn't banned, and Xayah is probably either the best or the second best AD carry on this patch, and it feeds really well into Zed because she can just ult the Zed mark and ult to dodge Hecarim, ult to dodge Sejuani, plus Lulu's survivability and kiting. I actually see the Shorks team actually kind of coming together quite nicely in terms of being able to protect that back line. But it looks like they are going to go to the Darius, give it to Arenji.
And we're seeing a grand challenge coming in for top lane. Renji did not like his performance from last game, so getting rid of that Urgot and trying to see if he can dominate with it.
Yeah, I would like to see Sniper not play the Samira because Samira has been heavily nerfed, and even though it's an okay matchup into Xayah's power level is just way too high. It looks like Tomato's going to pick a damage carry against Unicorn's hopes and dreams.
More summons.
More damage.
Have the Zyra.
Damage. That's all I heard is damage coming out of the Zyra. They're just loading up on more and more damage.
Yeah, as you'll see what Black Mambas rounds it out with at the moment.
If I had my pick of choice, you could round this out with a Kaisa. Just go in with your team and just follow up on damage to try and secure kills.
And Aphelios, that's not what I was
Aphelios!
expecting.
No backline protection and a hyper carry with a Zyra support. I feel like there was better options on the board. I know
Yeah,
Aphelios did just get nicely buffed though.
I feel it, even with the Aphelios buff, it's really hard to even walk up on this. Like, I think against Anivia and what Shorks has available right now, I don't see Sniper being able to do much on this Aphelios as
Vayne.
Giggle putting down the Vayne pick, and that's not what I was expecting.
Wow. Okay. One of the tougher champions to play, especially low range AD carry into a poke support and an AD carry with more ranged. Not an ideal setup, but they've got a lot of CC and a lot of ways to peel him. So I think there's a possibility that they can actually take this game pretty late. And if Giggle can get the support, which he's gonna need the support this game from B-Pots to get him ahead, because if he gets behind in this lane in the first 3 to 5 levels, there's really not a way that he's going to be able to get the control back from Aphelios with the range and the guns and the damage. It just scales faster than Vayne's into his core items. Sure, Vayne will like outscale later, but if she can't make it to that point, not sure what they're going to be able to do here.
Yeah, there's gonna have to be a lot of resources put into this Vayne. I mean, it's, all honesty, if Sharks makes it out of the early mid game, then they scale really well into Black Mambas. But I guess we'll see what happens in the in the game. Who do you favor right now out of these two team comps?
I'm favoring Black Mama's comp just because it's easier to execute, and I think their team has a pretty understanded style and how they actually like playing the game. They like playing it directly through mid, and now you've got a immobile mid laner against an assassin with a jungle that can easily just gank loads and loads of times. You also have like a pretty huge dynamic difference between the jungles where Amumu is a little bit more has to be a little bit more passive in the early game because he's really susceptible to invades, and Itaconic is just going to go nuts on this tech room, play it similar to the way they played Diana and just put loads of pressure on the map. Top lane is also really easy to kill if a Renji overextends even just a little bit. The double stun, basically knock up, stun, root. If he takes flash and ghost, he might be able to escape, but beyond that, it's a pretty tough lane, and bot lane definitely favors the Black Mambas for at least the first 6 levels. So you don't really have much footing for Shorks relative to them scaling well and having a decent matchup topside.
Yeah, unless Sharks perma ganks ball lane, I feel like Black Mambas have a bit of an advantage considering all the members of Black Mambas right now have, from last game, they have like such strong picks to go into the Sharks already. So I guess we'll see as we'll bring it over to intermission to wait for the game. And welcome back to game 2 of Black Mambas vs Shorks. As we see a standard setup, hopefully no first blood coming in for the top laner this time around.
Yeah, that
But
did seem to
Crab
give
does
Crab a
not.
big advantage.
Yeah, Crab does not have his Urgot this time to take over the top lane, giving RNG somewhat of a better matchup. I do believe that there is true damage can knock down Sejuani if he doesn't get pressured, but versus Iconic, that's a bit of a gamble.
You know, I'm no top lane expert, but doesn't Darius usually take Ghost? I'm assuming RNG might just want to have, a flash, and then, he needs teleport for the team, but I think I've seen a lot of competitive Darius take Ghost and teleport, no?
Yeah, I normally see a Ghost coming in for Darius, but I guess the flash is all right.
Honestly, Flash can help you out. It can get you over many walls. It can get you away. I'm sure we all know what a good summoner spell Flash is, but the Flash pull from Darius can be a pretty deadly engage if you've got the right target for it.
Yeah. I mean, also in pro play, you generally see an Ignite, but we all know that Unicorn likes to flame that.
Very true. Basic trades coming out from everybody here. A much less exciting early game, so not as much for me to talk about.
Although the same early rewards came in from Shorks right now, as they got the double ward onto the blue buff and river as well.
Yeah, going to be able to spot out where Hecarim's pathing takes him in the early game, but it looks like he's going to be sticking to clearing mostly his bot side. Do want to see if he ends up doing the clear where you just clear all your bot side camps and then immediately gank bot. I've seen it be very effective, and I think if you can get an early kill on this Hecarim, you could rampage through the entire game. Pun fully intended.
I mean, Iconic did go the blue jungle item. He went with the Squirtle this time around, which has quite a bit of damage coming in.
Yeah, so we'll see what he's planning on doing with it. Right now, looks like he's just doing a standard full clear, though, so Mumu able to pretty easily keep pace with him so far. Looks like he's going to fall a little bit behind those. He's just now starting his Raptors, and Hecarim's already on the buff, so I'm going to have to eat those words immediately. Trade coming in on the bot lane. Vayne committing for the Silver Bolt, but eating a lot of damage in return. Aphelios walks through the minions and eats some damage, but Vayne, you're eating so much damage so far. The Ignite comes through, the Cleanse comes out, the Flash is burned, and Vayne escapes with less than 100 health.
Yeah, we were saying before the game that this Vayne is such a risky pick. You can't. It's more for like the mid-late game, and trying to take any trades into a double range, double poke comp, it's almost detrimental at this point, having to blow all of his potions already.
Oh, and blowing potions will be Darius pretty soon if he's got the time, but he gets stunned up by Sejuani, looking for the return damage down, has a fully stacked passive. Sejuani flashes out so as not to burn to death, but she walks a little bit back in, looking to harass Darius. Darius doesn't get the heal on the Q, but he does get the kill on Sejuani. His first blood goes to Darius. Hecarim is able to immediately pick up a return kill, but a Mumu comes in with the Q. He comes in with the tears. Hecarim's running away. The flash comes out, but a Mumu cries all over his corpse. Oh my lord, it's going the way of the Shorks this time in the top lane jungle matchup. Yeah, but I spoke too early. Sejuani comes in with the teleport, takes the doubles for the troubles, and takes the 2 for 2.
Oh, what a bloody topside fight as Beepos was trying to get the wave crashing so that Renji would be in a better spot. But now Crab has double buffs.
Yeah, just in a much worse spot.
Although you have to realize that versus Darius, you can't disrespect the fully stacks. It does so much damage over time as
he's got a lot of damage out now. Conqueror fully stacked. Auto's coming out. The passive comes through, and it might not be enough healing on Sejuani as she burns to death. Well, bleeds to death, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, the boar is bleeding. Darius is having a good meal tonight as now the buff transfer to Renji right now is perfect for Shorks as again, this bleed passive does almost like hundreds of damage. You can't disrespect it as B-Bots looking for something on right.
Speaking of damage coming out, Zyra flashes forward after we just saw Mumba, but Hecarim's already here. Both of the bot lanes on the side of the Shorks are 1 HP. The tower comes through. Sniper falls, but Zyra picks up the double kill.
Really nice dive coming in as they didn't really have too much. They overstayed and was really low. And again, Crab is just getting all these stacks onto him, losing hundreds of HP.
Oh, half of his health is already gone. He's 2 levels down. Darius is already 6. There's a world there where Darius sticks around and kills Crab here. He's looking for it. He's in the brush. He's full health. He's got the doubles. Well, not quite full, but he's only missing 200 health. He's got the double buffs. Sejuani's got to be careful. He uses the dash to get away, not able to interrupt with the pull. This is getting dangerous.
Yeah, the red buff burn plus bleed is just even more damage over time, and it might even be dangerous for Crab to even stay underneath his tower. He got really far behind, already at 20 CS deficit up in the top lane.
Yeah, and that's not what you want to see. Darius can really make your life a living hell if he's got a decent lead on you. So we'll see. A lot of damage coming through from Solar Rain onto the Anivia, but pardon my lack of excitement. I knew it wasn't going to be enough. Anivia has that egg passive, and so once she's close to the turret, there's just not a whole lot you can do as an assassin. I mean, it's not like you can sit under the turret and auto her, and even if you stay nearby, you have no idea where her jungle is. So they're really looking to burn the egg here. Uses the ult, doesn't quite get it, but we'll see if he's able to get it under the turret as Amumu looks for the wraparound.
Yeah, first time we're seeing the Anivia coming out from Molly, and it looks like I'm not sure if this is just a fluke or not, but it looked like that he doesn't really know the Zed ult timing as a fight in jungle.
Oh, fight breaks out, but it doesn't look like either team's going to really continue it. But to build on what you were saying, yeah, I mean, Zed always lands in a predetermined spot when he ults you. I believe it's behind you, right?
Yes, because we did see Molly try to do a stun, but just slightly mistimed this. I'm not sure how well, if that was just a fluke or if it's a running theme that we'll see throughout the game. I guess we'll see.
Yeah. It will be very dependent because a lot of Zed's success depends on him being able to get that ultimate off. It amplifies his damage by quite a bit. So if you're going to be burning through an Anivia who's going to have Rod of Ages on top of Seraphs, on top of, other health and AP items that Riot's in love with, the bird will randomly have 3,000 health at some point in the game. So if you're going to kill her as an assassin, you've got to land all your stuff, and all she has to do is land a little bit of CC, and all of a sudden she doesn't die. So very important ability for her to hit. We'll see if she's able to do it.
Yeah, one thing I'd like to point out currently is this balling. There's already 2 turret platings going over towards the Black Mambas bot side right now, and it's just looking like Phyllis is going to be able to scale into this late game. It's slightly a bit rough to go into this with the Vayne as the third plate goes down as well.
Yeah. And we see that despite the kills being 4-4 and despite there being, a lead in the top side for Darius, every other lane is going in favor of the Black Mambas. I mean, they've got all the turret plates. They've got an overall, slightly over 1K gold lead, but looks like the Shorks might be turning around as Amumu comes in with the ultimate, stuns up 2, but Hecarim is also here. Hecarim jumps onto the Lulu. Lulu's almost out of health. She ends up running out of health before she can get any of her abilities off. Hecarim turning back on the Amumu who wasn't able to take down the backline as he will also fall. Vayne, 1 HP, uses the cleanse to survive the ignite, but Hecarim's got Ghost. Hecarim's got E. Hecarim's got Hooves. You burn the flash, but it does not matter. The horse stampedes over you. Oh, man.
That was such an awkward gank angle as none of the bot laners for Shorks had level 6. They couldn't even really follow up. It was a bit of a far dive, and Hecarim was just hovering around the dragon and not even just right place in the right time. I don't even think he knew where the Amumu was.
Well, I mean, it was a beautiful counter gank by Idatonic. Maybe one of opportunity, maybe one that was calculated. He was hanging in the bot side, knew that his bot lane, they might be looking to try and flip or turn it. Maybe he couldn't do anything else around the map, but you're right. Maybe he just was right place, right time. But either way, very well played with the opportunity he was given. Comes in and turns the fight. But Zed comes in with his second ultimate under turret range, gets the ignite off, eats 3 turret shots for his trouble as we do see the Anivia land the stun. And that's what you were talking about.
Yeah, Rain not able to get the last E there would have if he got the last E there, it would have proc Anivia's passive, and it would have been a great position for Rain to start as Anivia.
Oh, but he doesn't quite proc the passive. Anivia flashes to stay under her turret range. Very important. Actually, it might seem like a little bit of a troll flash, but I think if she doesn't flash there, she might die. Zed can just sit there and wail on her egg, and Hecarim's pretty close. Maybe not, but he had a good amount of energy. His spell cooldowns aren't terribly long. Oh, but now that the egg is burned, Hecarim is going in. He's looking for the kill. Anivia misses the stun, gets the slow, but isn't able to get a whole lot. As Zed flashes in and takes the kill. Amumu is fighting in the wave, looks to back off, gets a little bit of trade back onto Hecarim, but Hecarim might be staying around a little bit longer than he wants. He's getting a good amount of
Defense,
healing off the Amumu.
defense is
Amumu
just
might be the one
trying
that's in
to.
trouble. Zed looking for the kill, flashing forward, not able to get it, but the bot lane's already rotated. Giggle coming in, looking to get damage down, but isn't able to get the speed that he needs to get the autos. So a disengage coming through as another fight breaks out. Okay, that one's disengaged. They spared my voice.
Yeah, Crab on the top side. Ever since the first 2 deaths, he's just been chilling underneath his tower. Although he's like sacking a lot of last hits, he's still around for the experience. At least he's only 1 level behind, and as long as he can just stabilize and try and just even this out somewhat, and not let RNG get a bigger lead, Black Mama's
Yeah,
in a great spot right now.
but stopping the bleed against Darius can be a tall task. So kudos if Crab's able to do it. But we'll see. I mean, he's been doing a pretty good job so far. Yeah, pointed out. So we'll see if that will continue. We haven't seen as many roams this game from Tomato as last game. I believe it might just be because he's trying to bully the lane, but do you think we'll see him around the map more, that his lane's freed up with the turret down? As I
Oh,
asked, fight breaks out. Darius
RNG might
using
be in
that
a tough spot as
good.
the entire team of Black Mamas is coming up.
Black Mambas are all here, and it looks like Darius will fall. He might try to take someone with him, but he just does not have the damage. Oh,
Yeah, they did see the entire ball or Black Mamas in the mid top side, so I'm not sure if that wasn't communicated that they were trying to rotate, or if it's just like object permanence, no vision means that no one's there. Just take
I
a
am
blind
going
eye.
to guess it might have been a bit of both. Either, his team might have called it out or not, maybe called it out quietly, or maybe recognized but not said anything in comms, or maybe he was just having a hard time with his object permanence on the engage. But Hecarim goes in, gets polymorph for his troubles, eats the ignite, eats a little bit of damage. Amumu with the re-engage. Flash from Zyra isn't enough to escape the ultimate. She gets stunned up and will get shut down. Pass to Vayne. That's a
Yeah,
lot of gold.
both flashes burned for the ball lane of Black Mambas just to get trade 1 kill over, and that's quite a bit of gold going over, as that is the shutdown.
Yeah, 600 gold to a Vayne nonetheless. I mean, that's a champion that once she hits a certain amount of gold, I mean, even the worst players are going to do quite a bit of damage. The silver bolts, when she's full build, stack up very quickly with the Gwynsus. And we'll see if they're able to shut it down and get anything on her in return. They use the Hecarim ult. The cleanse comes out. She eats and doesn't eat too much of the fear. Tries to push him further under turret. Lulu commits the flash. Hecarim super low. Eats the stun from Mumu, and that is a shutdown. 700 bonus gold to
Sniper's
the
in a bad spot, he
Amumu.
doesn't have flash.
Oh, but he is going to be able to get out. Zyra with a good disengage. Zed looks to see what he can do. He knows that Amumu doesn't have his ult. He commits his own and ignites him. Amumu going to fall. Anivia picks up a lot of damage onto the Aphelios, but she pays for it with her life, not respecting the damage that Zyra can put out.
Yeah, Zyra already completed her first item. It's a Leandries, and you cannot disrespect how much damage that Zyra is able to put as
Oh,
Renji is on
speaking
the
of
tower.
disrespect, stunned up under the turret, Darius will fall, not realizing that Sejuani can clear the wave relatively quickly, and once you're taking tower shots, she can follow up with crowd control.
Yeah, that a lot of the damage is just the tower ramping up. I'm not sure if a lot of people still know. I did mention in the bot side where the tower does ramp up so much faster.
Yeah, well, it was a recent change where they increased the base damage by 10 damage, and I remember they put it in the patch notes and said, hey, this seems like a small change, but towers are going to hurt now, and they do.
It ramps up so fast. You can only really take like at minimum 3 tower shots.
Yeah, at this stage in the game, it highly depends on your armor, but you're typically right. Once you eat that third turret shot, it's doing, 400 or 500 damage a shot, and no champion's going to be able to survive that for very long.
Yeah, but we're seeing a bit of a fight coming in, at least, because a lot of shutdowns were given over to Shorks. At least it puts their AD carry and their jungler in a decent position. As the Yamuma is going the demonic embrace, right? He is trying to build a bit more damage so that they are able to just shred through Black Mambas.
And Amuma with the demonic embrace and with the curse applies a lot of damage. The curse giving you that extra true damage on the burn makes the burn hurt quite a bit.
Yeah, I guess
So.
we do see a Spear Shojin build coming out from the Hecarim. And
Oh,
I've seen how many dashes the Hecarim can get off just one Spear of Shogun. He's looking to just run down the Shorks and any opportunity they can get.
yeah, very interesting. I mean, we see so much damage coming out of this Zyra. I mean, we saw her ultimate do 250, 300 to Vayne, and that just does not have to feel good if you're the playing the AD carry, watching the support just chunk you out. And it's like, I thought I was the damage dealer.
Look, so you see, we have Tomato. Like he's played the majority of his games this season as I don't think I'm able to
Oh,
tell.
speaking of Tomato, here comes Tomato. Hecarim gets locked up under the turret by the Mumu while Zed dives really deep for the Lulu, ends up getting the kill on her with a follow shuriken. A fight is broken out in the top lane as well as Sejuani's taking so much damage, burns the flash to get away as the tower dive is over in the mid lane, and it looks like Mambas are going to walk away with 2 kills and not trade any back.
Yeah, in really awkward position for Ranger right now. He's sort of stuck in the top side trying to get this tower, and he's sort of just like a side laner. But even if he groups, I don't think that he'll be able to do too much in the team fights as well.
Yeah, you know,
He,
the lead that he had has been kind of squandered. Sejuani's a level up on him now. She's able to hold her own in this lane. And so you're right. He's stuck here in lane in this really awkward spot where he feels like he needs to share the lead that he had built with his team, but he's not able to do so because Sejuani's back in the game and winning the lane. And she just wants to keep you here. So that's where you stay.
Yeah, always an unfortunate position. Looking at the stat line right now, we have one Herald, two Dragons, only one tower coming in. There might be a second one coming in the top line right now. It'll be
Oh, the
two towers.
demolish
We are
comes in
seeing.
big, but Sejuani's already low health. Have 2 people converging on her position. Camera pans away, so we can only assume that stuff misses, but as we see the camera come back for a moment, we get teased. Camera decides to focus. Maybe the combat will start and we'll get to see what's actually going on. As 2 members are chasing down Sejuani, she's doing what she can to buy time. It's not going to last too much longer, though. She gets stunned up, eats a little bit of damage. Darius is on top. She uses the ult to try to get away, gets pulled back in, and will end up falling to the Darius. Was it worth the turret?
I personally think it's worth a turret. The Sejuani doesn't have a shutdown at the very least. There isn't really like any objective goal that the Sharks can capitalize off it. And just getting the Sejuani out of the lane and into these team fights, it's already a really strong position for Black Mambas to begin with. It opens up the map so much, and they can just push their vision forward. They're already set up for the second Rift Herald, and maybe even just get mid tower, considering that there isn't so much threat for the bot lane of Black Mambas right now.
Yeah, you know what? And that touches on something that I had a different angle of, but I would have said the Sejuani is worth it if only because you pulled a Mumu up there for so long. We see that without a Mumu, the mid turret fell pretty quickly to the Aphelios Zyra. They've been roaming around the map, taking everything out. Darius looks for the dive, finds it with the flash. We barely even saw what was going on. It looked like a normal trade with the jungler, but Darius finds the time to get the kill.
The Black Cleaver into the sheet. He already building towards the Triforce, but we can't stop here as Bali just
Aphelios
caught.
flashes away and walks back in. Amumu ults him, locks him up, and Zyra dips out of there saying, dude, you went the wrong way. Zyra walks the wrong way as well, walks back into the Amumu, gets caught up for her trouble, tries to find the damage onto Giggle, ends up doing so, roots up the Amumu, tries to walk away, but the red buff looks like it's going to burn her to death, and it will. Zed goes in for the kill. Solar Rain onto Mollywops here. Anivia doesn't have too many places to run, but he can't chase the kill for very long because she's near her team, so he ends up backing away, and that's 2-0 for the Shorks.
2-for-1 technically,
2-4-1.
all
Very,
things considered, Tomato did get the kill onto the
very
Vayne,
true.
but
Very true.
it does put the Vayne into somewhat better position. Oh
Oh,
no!
and it might be a 2-for-2. Anivia caught out in their own jungle as Itatonic is already up here to help Zed do the DPS to get through the egg, and that will be the 3rd death for Anivia as Solar Rain is on a rampage.
Yeah, the Nivea had blown the stopwatch during her earlier engage with Rain right now, and just not being in a good place for his team to back him up. It's just a free pick right there. It gives
Yeah,
him a complete control over the dragon that's upcoming.
yeah, and there's something to be said with the confidence with which Rain picked Zed, and he has really shown up. You know, he said, here's why I'm confident I can win this matchup, and here's how I'll do it. And with a scoreline of 403, 20 or 10 CS up, doing good so far. Amumu caught a little bit too far forward, and that should secure the dragon for him.
Yeah, I think in that position you sort of just cut your losses. Sure, they're at the 3 dragon soul point, but you don't really have a way to get any vision. I haven't really seen any type of vision control coming in from Gui right now, as he has the spell thieves, but and especially in this lane, I'm not sure if it's even completed right now.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it is. I mean, if just looking at Zyra's, hers looks completely different. So maybe, Lulu hasn't earned quite enough gold with it. Not sure exactly how close she'll be, but I also want to point out that Anivia burned her teleport to the tier 2 to get closer to that dragon out of base, but uh, Shorks weren't in a position to contest, so they've essentially burned that summoner for nothing.
Yeah, oh, that's real unfortunate. They're blowing so many resources that they could be using right now. It's just it's more of a you have to try and capitalize on trying to do something in this mid lane because Black Mambas bot lane has been pushing up relentlessly against this second tier mid turret. So I think
Yeah.
that's where you're supposed to try to get a lead for the Shorks if you're trying to get anything right now.
And they have found good engages before on it, but they're just not seeing the angles that they want to see at all times. And, the more they shave away at this mid-tier turret's health, the sooner that it's going to fall. And that's not what you want to see when you're trying to give time for your Anivia to scale, for your Vayne to scale, for your front line to be built and you to turn into the late game comp that they've selected.
A 20-minute Baron coming out almost immediately. I have no vision of this at all. You can see
Yeah,
that
but
Lulu had just finished her support
not
item
giving him
as
any
Molly.
warning signs. Zed diving Anivia under the turret, eating so many turret shots as Anivia gets the shutdown.
Yeah, but Baron is getting low. They have no idea as it just gets completed.
Yeah, Mumu throwing the bandage onto his red buff as Baron falls. They had no idea what was going on. You don't normally expect a two-man Baron at 20 minutes.
Yeah, really, a really nice sneak coming in there. You're recognizing that Lulu doesn't have any wards. It's just you haven't really had a great position for Renji to even capitalize on this teleport. He hasn't even used it once to get into any of these team fights at all. And you can't really do that with how little wards there is on the map. There aren't even too many flake wards available for Shorks right now.
Yeah, it's hard to see the angles for when you can teleport when you don't have a complete picture of where the enemy team is. And so when you've got your hands full with the Sejuani in the side lane, that he managed to take the tower out from under her nose. So I will say that he's able to create an advantage in the side lane now. Might have gotten a good amount of his lead back with the gold that he got. So had his hands full with the Sejuani in the side lane, and without the angles from the vision to teleport, you can't really spread any lead that you build to your team with any sort of ease. So we'll see if he's able to get some roams down or maybe just whittle some more turrets down and build an advantage that way, but it's not looking good on the side of the Shorks right now.
Yeah, looking at a lot of these items, we are seeing the second items completed at the moment. Hecarim is going for the non-mythic route where he just values more of the stats of legendary items right now, and
oh my, look at this cannon minion. The mid lane turret is getting close to 50% HP, and it's all from Aphelios just standing next to this cannon minion. Vayne just cannot get close enough. Flash burned by Aphelios, but at this point, man, one flash on one summoner for one person to take half of an inhibitor turret's health, you start to wonder, is it ever gonna get better for the trades that the Shorks are able to create on resources?
they're gonna try to find a pick. They were able to blow the Aphelios splash just from the Nivea wall. So maybe they can find an angle on this mid.
Maybe they see it here as Amumu comes forward with the ultimate, locks him up. Zyra immediately falls before the CC where I was off. Amumu goes deeper, but gets locked up for his trouble by the Sejuani. His team doesn't want to go any further. Hecarim comes in and flanks his team. That's probably why they didn't want to go further. Hecarim onto the back line, picks up the Amumu. Vayne in the ultimate with the Lulu ultimate. So much damage coming through. She eats the Zed ultimate, eats the Hecarim damage, and eats the death. Zed comes back and looks at the Darius, trying to cut their wave, trying to stop them from getting the inhibitor, or at least going for the end. They Baron buff the minions, they look to hunt him down, know that he's one of the only players that can stop them. He flashes over the wall to get to safety as Anivia sets up her own wall. Darius pulls people back in, and that'll be a shutdown going to the Darius as Hecarim falls to the damage. Oh.
I think you take that. I think that was a 3-4-2 in the end there, and any gold that you can get at their moment. Sure, you lose an inhib tower, but it just puts them in a more better position to scale into the late game, because you can see how much damage that the Vayne already has with the Gwynsus, with the Immortal Shield Bow.
Yeah, her damage is starting to come through quickly, and I mean, Darius is doing a lot of damage on his own. We were able to see that when he's got the position to, hold the front line still, he does quite a bit of damage with his stacked up Conqueror and Black Cleavers, so once his passive is stacked on someone and they have no armor, it begins to hurt. So We'll see if they're able to use the gold to generate any advantages as another fight breaks out. Amumu goes in onto the Zed after Zed goes in on Darius. Darius falls to Zyra before he can really get any damage out as Zed walks away with 1 HP. Amumu is eating so much damage from the Zyra planes. Aphelios' ultimate comes out and he starts shooting the Amumu and Amumu falls. Aphelios is walking forward. He's got the movement speed from the heal, but he walks into 3 members of the Shorks. Aphelios dies to the Anivia AoE and the Polymorphs CC as Vayne is fighting her own 1v1 against Sejuani on the side of the map. Anivia tries to kite it out. Vayne is trying to win the 1v1 but isn't able to find the distance as slapped by Crab will slap Giggle into the afterlife.
Yeah, they were trying to get in position for the soul because they really didn't want to give it up, but having a Renji already be really low, he hasn't even used his teleport yet. He could have just backed and teleported back into the fight, but getting caught up at his Zed there, just getting insta-pop, and I feel like that was a fault on the Renji on not being able to back before his to get his health back.
Maybe not realizing the resources that he had, not realizing he had the teleport, had the ability to recall and come back and still be in time to participate for the fight. So not what you want to see. You can't be forgetting about abilities that you've got whenever you are this far behind, as we see the gold lead, at 9,000 gold almost at this point, and the Hextech Dragon Soul, which is one of the stronger souls in the game right now. It's really not looking good. I mean, look at the damage that's about to come out, or not come out at all from this Zyra. Thought she was going to do a range plant, and, I expect one range plant to at least with the Hextech Soul do like, 300-400 damage, which is just absolutely absurd.
Yeah, and you can already see how strong that the Zyra is getting. She has her core items of the Rylai's into the Leandries, and she's just gonna grab that extra Zonias. And that's probably gonna be her last item, I assume. And it's just gonna leave her so protected. And she leaves because a lot of what Shorks has is to walk at the enemy team.
They look for the engage, but Zed just walks away and shadows forward, so not able to find it. They blow an item cooldown on Lulu, But at least they're looking for it. They saw they had the numbers there. They were looking for the Zed kill. They weren't able to find it, but they're still trying to make those opportunities, still seeing signs of life in the Shorks here.
Yeah, as they're trying to push forward more of their defensive vision right now. As I think the next play is gonna have to be around the Baron. You already see Black Mamba setting up for it. You already see that they have the vision control, and Sharks are gonna have to come in here blind and try and do something.
Yeah, Black Mamba's feeling confident, already starting up the Baron, shaving it down to less than 10k health as Aphelios is just wailing on it. Nivea's on the backside with the Storm, helping him out, giving him a little bit of a leash, trying to catch up any enemies that might step in it, but not going to find anything. They disengage off the Baron to look for the engage angle. Hecarim is so fast! He comes in onto the Lulu, but Vayne pushes him back, and Zed comes in! They destroy the backline, but both backlines get destroyed as Nivea finds a pick on the Zyra. Darius falls to the Mamba before he can get any meaningful damage off as Anivia and Amumu are on the wrong side of the map. Anivia drops into Egg Nivea as all the damage comes down. Amumu, the last one alive, but it won't last very long as the sad mummy dies sad and alone in the river, surrounded by his own tears, as it looks like the Black Mambas will turn that into the end of the game.
There's just so many flank angles. They had no vision to the Zed. The Zed was able to get onto the Vayne. Lula had to ult herself. There's no flashes available for any of the Shorks to actually get out of the fight in the first place. It's just a devastating fight for the Shorks as Black Mamba is able to just clean them up, end the game here with the 2-0, and surprisingly not be first place considering the points values right now.
Yeah, we were just discussing this in the intermission, but despite being 2-0 and having the head-to-head, they're still behind, what was it, 2 points or 3 points to the Shorks, which keeps them distant enough to still be in 4th place.
Yeah, but really strong showing from Black Mambas, and without turnips, it doesn't look like Shorks had too much of a control over the games today.
Yeah, we'll see if Turnip can show his value next week and, bring the Shorks to have a much better showing. But for now, we're going to have to send you guys away. So we will see you later.